Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CBD Talk Podcast. Tonight is a very fun night for me because tonight we are bringing on a friend of mine, Vicki Conley from Hippie Do Drop In and a bunch of different Hippie Do things. And I'm just really excited to have her here. Vicki and I have known each other for a few years, and she really puts the fun in cannabis. I'm telling you, she really does. One of the reasons there's several reasons why I want to have Vicki on tonight. Vicki does a lot of different things, but she really likes to incorporate cannabis in practically everything that she does, all of her different business arenas. And oh my gosh, I can't even talk. I'm so excited. But one of the things that I wanted to show is for everyday people, different ways that you can incorporate cannabis into business. And then for others, we're going to talk about cooking with cannabis. And also we're going to talk about Airbnb with cannabis. So honestly, I'm going to have to watch the clock because I know that this could go very long. So I'm gonna be careful tonight. We'll just have to have Vicki back on another one because she's just a wealth of information. So thank you for joining us, Vicki. So
oh my gosh, thank you, Dawn. Oh man, that sounds so much better. All that sounds so much better when you say it.
How about we just start out with what brought you into basically the cannabis world?
Well, shall we go like way back to when I was 16 and a half years old or so?
Sure.
Yeah, it was about that long ago. So many, many, many years ago. And, I thought I was a rebel back then, but as I'm finding out, I was right. So
yes, you were.
yeah, I knew what my body needed, and and I might have experimented here and there with a few other things, but it was always cannabis. And then when my daughter was born, I probably went a year or so without, but then I would meet someone that, oh, you can get me a dime bag. I mean, we're talking, that was the 80s then. And there's this group of girls that I went to high school with, and we still get together to this day. In fact, we're in the process of planning our annual girls trip. It's like an every 5-year girls trip we do. But anyway, we'd all get together, and that would be our one time a year that we'd go out and have fun, and then we'd come home and sit on the back porch and have our pipes out.
It's weird. We're just such rebels back in the day, and
I know.
now, like you said, now we realize that this just wasn't it shouldn't have been a rebel thing. It should have been an everyday thing. So
right. And so, we did, like I said, we didn't do it often, and when it was done, it was done. And then when we moved to Colorado 20 years ago, and how long has medical been around? Was it like 14, maybe?
I don't even remember. A long time.
Yeah, it was I think it was like shortly after that. It was within that first year. A friend asked me, and she came up to me at a meeting, and I don't know if she smelled it on me or what, but she's like, do you smoke? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Do you? So she lived right around the corner from me, and my husband, he never smoked. And so her and we became smoking buddies. Yeah. And she had her medical license because she had it for fibromyalgia.
And it is so good for that.
Yes, yes. And to me, I didn't really know anything about the medical benefits. I just knew I liked how I felt, and so she hooked me up with her doctor, and I was able to get my medical license because I had x-rays from chiropractor from a car accident I had been in, and chronic back pain that I've dealt with, for 20 years or so. And cannabis definitely makes it feel better.
Yeah, and it's much better than taking Oxy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And so that's how I originally got into it.
And then what brought you into becoming like a crusader? Because you really are. You really are.
Oh, yeah.
You're very active in NORML. And NORML is a national organization with chapters all across the country.
Yes. National Organization for the Reforming of Marijuana Law. And I had a pen of theirs, and when I was in 8th grade, they were just my junior high school had just heard of them. I'm sure they had been around for a couple years by then. But it would have been like 1972-ish or 70.
Wow.
71, 72. And I think NORML got started in 68, something like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, I just thought it was so cool that, because the 9th graders they were handing out these NORML pins. And I think that's when I first decided I wanted to smoke pot.
Those damn 9th graders. Boy, I'm telling you.
I know it. And you know what? I don't know if I have that pin today. I need to go through some stuff I have in the basement, because I've got stuff I haven't seen in years that I've moved with me from house after house. But the reason why I'm really an advocate now is, even though I was a medical patient and taking it for my back, I still really didn't fully understand the benefits of it. And my husband, he was a blue collar worker, and he couldn't use it at all. And he was against it, actually. So I would just sit up in my office, and I would go up and take a toke out of my office and then come back down. And well, he was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2013, March 13th, actually, just had the date. What is today?
The 14th. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just yesterday. Gosh, with this blizzard, it's like we've lost a day there somewhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was 6 years ago, and he passed away in 11 months because his factory was zero tolerance drug policy. And
well, yeah.
So he could have lost his benefits, and it's just like I don't want to think of what could have been different, but what was different for me is that I learned, because at the end, when they told him there was nothing more that they could do, his mother was here because she was helping with this, because the brain cancer, it's hard on everybody that's around. And we had a caregiver come in, and he gave me YouTube videos to watch. There was a gentleman that had the same type of brain cancer, the glioblastoma, which is what John McCain just passed away from. There's a YouTube video out there showing how this cannabis oil, Rick Simpson oil, shrunk this tumor and saved this guy's life, or at least extended it. And there's many cases out there where it's made the quality of life better.
Right. And so if
you can't make any medical claims, this is just people just giving
of course. Right. But the thing is if laws had been different, and yet then we don't know what could have possibly happened. If there
No.
hadn't been a stigma attached to it, then,
No.
maybe it would have been something he would have tried. There's lots of different things, but you're trying to make it so that people have choices that they didn't have before.
Right. And I'm not sure if it's going to be brought up this year or next year, but I know that one of the issues that Denver Normal, which my daughter and I are part of that organization, the Denver chapter, they want to lobby for skill testing and not
Nice.
drug testing, because what they're doing now is, I mean, they're testing for just THC, and if your CBD has even that minuscule point,
Exactly.
it's showing up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you're testing hot for a drug test, and it's freaking CBD. Somebody got arrested in Fort Lauderdale for CBD oil. She got a $500 fine, and I haven't followed the story since yesterday, but she was having all sorts of people reach out, and it's like, you need to get a lawyer, you need to fight this, and she's definitely ready to, take it to the next level.
Good. Good. I'm glad.
That's what people need to do. They need to stand up for their rights.
Yeah. And if there is something like that happening, wherever you happen to be, where you're listening, I would recommend that you contact a normal chapter, and they might be able to direct you to a good lawyer or give you some guidance as to things you can do.
Yeah, they're not all active in all states, we're finding out, but if you go onto Facebook or any social media and just search for cannabis or green, we've got to be tricky with our names nowadays.
Yeah.
Facebook pulls that, but
oh yeah, they sure do, don't they? I've been in Facebook jail since February 20th.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They took down the podcast page, they took down the Haven page, they took down everything I have.
Freaking CBD, it's ridiculous.
I know. Oh, thank you, Facebook.
I mean, people don't realize what a war this still is,
And the thing is they won't even talk to me. They won't even tell me if or when I'm getting it back up. So I've started a Reddit page for the podcast, for CBD Talk podcast.
You're dealing with a machine.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Talking to a robot.
Yeah, George Orwell all over. So, all right. So you're involved in so many awesome things in the cannabis world. How about we start out with, so when Vicki and I met, I was at a trade show. I was working at a trade show with Harley, who is also does CBD Talk podcast, and it was
is where we met. And I forgot about that one.
And Vicki, being all cute as she is, came up and was chatting with us and gave us her business card, and she gave us her card because she works with the marijuana show. So how about you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Well, it was my husband did try cannabis there at the end. It was too little, too late. And that was in February of 14. And, I went through a period there where I don't even remember that period.
Yeah.
I tried to stay busy, and I had social media. That was the very early days of Facebook. And I had connected with Wendy Robbins, who is the producer of the Marijuana Show. And Wendy had written a book that I'd bought her book. Oh, I'd bought her book, I think, in 2010, and I just hadn't read it, but I was getting to it then. And or no, maybe I had reached out. I had been talking with them, but she wasn't into the cannabis industry at that time. She was a business coach, a business coach.
A business coach, yeah.
A business coach. And in August of 14, her and her wife, Karen Paul, who is the co-producer of the Marijuana Show with her, and made an announcement on Facebook that they were coming to Denver for this big project. And so I spoke out like I do. I've done that a couple times this week on Facebook, and like, hey, I'm going to be around. What can I do to help? I'm only an hour from there. I want to meet you. And she was kind of sort of famous. Like, she was on television for one season in this show with Kelly Ripa called The Homemade Millionaire.
Oh.
Wendy was the business coach for The Homemade Millionaire. Was women would come and they would pitch their business ideas, and out of 3 women, Wendy would be the coach, and one of them would win their product going to like the Home Shopping Network. Something.
Wow, fun.
Yeah. And Wendy was a co-inventor of the Tingler head massager. So that was her claim to fame. And then she was this new author. And so, it was really cool. And when she told me what the show was called The Marijuana Show. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm in. That's they didn't have to say anything else. And so I went down to Denver. They held auditions at this bar in Denver. It's a really cool bar. The dog something. You can bring your dogs there. They have like swimming pools outdoors on the patio for your dog.
My kind of place.
Yeah, and it's really cool inside, a big open area. And so that's where we held auditions. We had over 200 people show up for a 2-day period. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I'm running around like a chicken.
Just helping.
Yes. And so I ended up being the one that would walk the contestants after they pitched back to the confession trailer. And so I was to make sure that they didn't talk to anyone. I was to make sure that they knew they needed to evoke emotion, so I was like coaching them but it was so cool because I got to meet and know all the clients. So now when I watch the show, it's like, oh, I remember them. And I see down in Denver all the time, so, and a couple of the gals that helped with the show, I run into them at meetings down in Denver. So there's a very active cannabis family community that's, going on in this area.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned that you talked with Karen today?
Yes. Karen Paul. Okay, so the Marijuana Show, it's like a Shark Tank for entrepreneurs. People can come and pitch their ideas, and they pitch for investing. And it started out really, low key, like we needed a business plan, but if you wanted to write it on a napkin, that will do. And it evolved to needing to have a business plan. And now it's evolved for season 4. We are on Amazon Prime. Seasons 2 and 3 are available on Amazon Prime. They've made distribution agreements with all sorts of people. And I don't know what all she told me, if I'm supposed to say.
Okay. Yeah. We don't want to spill any beans.
Exactly. But we are on Amazon Prime, and the new qualification, they do have a couple more spots left for people who want to be on season 4. Go watch season 2 and 3 and you'll see what it's all about. People who want to pitch for season 4, they need to be profitable already. We're not doing any startups this year. We've had a lot of startups in the past. And then it was, you just had to be licensed in the past, but now it's like you have to be licensed and profitable. So
well, and that's the thing is, they've gotten to the point that that they can make a difference with someone who's.
And they've. I mean, it's a hot topic now, and they've attracted some bigger sponsors, bigger investors on the show. The girls, they still want to keep control of it. They've had many offers to buy the show, but they still want to keep control of it. And so, but they've drawn bigger investors. So if someone's got, an idea that they want to take it to the next level, they're already profitable at what they're doing. they want to take it to the next level, there's still a couple spots available. And
So how would they, is there a website that they could go to, or?
I believe it's set up on themarijuanashow.com,
Okay,
and tell them Vicki sent you.
definitely. Or you could go to hippiedo.com and you've got a contact form on there, right? And you could help
Okay.
them.
Okay, so I have a few days to get that set up. So
Yes, this will air on, this will post on the on the 21st.
okay, I'll get something set up. But yes. But like a 2-minute video pitch, and if they, they can connect with me, and I can give them, a little
Some
bit
tips.
Yeah, I can give them some tips and some coaching on what they would need to do. But if you've got a good idea, think about it, and go home, smoke a joint, come up with some creative ideas, because that's how the show was created. And they came up with the idea, and 3 weeks later they're in Denver with 200 people showing up. And
Amazing.
the show has just grown from there. But what I wanted to say, the show we plan on filming in August in Toronto.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so we're taking the show international this year. So.
That is so exciting.
I know. And that I can't announce, because they've been teasing about that for a long time. So.
Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's move over to Hippie Do. So when did you create Hippie Do?
A couple years ago. Like, I'm not really sure of the exact date. I probably should look that up.
Oh no, it's a couple years ago, and Hippie Do is like this huge umbrella.
Yeah, it's been evolving. It started out, this hat that I have on. I sell on Amazon. I've been an e-commerce seller for over 15 years, and when I moved to Amazon, I had a bigger platform, and I had these hats that I branded as mine, as my few hats, and I bought a shit ton of them. And I am proud to say I am well over halfway through selling all of them. I have 4 different styles. This one is it says hemp is where the heart is. It says go green on the side. I think it's the side.
Yeah.
Green. And then I have one that says hemp not hate.
And so if they go to Amazon.com, they just type in Hippie Do?
Yep, if they go to Amazon.com and type in Hippie Do, that's my brand. And I've got some t-shirts that I've done under the Hippie Do brand. I do some print on demand stuff. I haven't done a whole lot of it, because when I first started, they were banning cannabis shirts. I know. And it's like I put all this time and effort into learning how to do it, and then got to put on the, then none of your designs were getting approved. And I was going after like business clients. I wanted to do like logo t-shirts and get your logo on Amazon. Well, they have opened it up now, and I can still do that if anybody wants to do that. It's really kind of super easy. I can even teach you how to do it yourself. And it's free. You could do it free through Amazon, and you can order a t-shirt for as low as like $12 and with your own logo. You just gotta learn the design. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, if you search on Amazon or on eBay for Hippie Do, you'll find my stuff. And my hats, I do have a couple of wholesale customers. I don't really have a website set up to send people to yet. Most of the items that you see that I sell on e-commerce, I am able to get wholesale. A few of them are clearance items, and once I run out, that's all I have.
Yeah.
But if I get a large enough order, I think the quantity is 72. If somebody wants to order 72 or more, I can still get them a special price, and we can have them custom made. So.
Oh, very cool. Because you know what? You need to wear your hemp on your heart. So
yes.
Go out there and show what you
Be
got.
proud. Be proud.
Definitely. We gotta work on that stigma. Gotta
Yeah.
make that go away.
One of my friends from Florida, she wears her hemp not hate hat flying through the airport. She's a lawyer though. That gives her a little bit more confidence.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about something else. You are you're the person I always think of whenever I think of something like cooking with hemp, because that's something that you have done a lot of. You've figured out ways to do things that are easy, and even with your Airbnb, you offer classes, on how to cook and things like that. Yeah, that's one of the packages that you do with that. So let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, so for me, I've never cooked with hemp before or cannabis before. So just walk me through how I would even get started.
Okay, well, how it started for me is I was at a trade show night, a Sensi party down in Denver, and they had a booth there for this product. It was called the Mighty Fast Herbal Infuser, and they had made like some Chex Mix with this infused butter that they had non-medicated samples. And it was so good. And I asked them what they needed for a wholesale order, and I think it was 6 units. So I'm an e-commerce seller, and it's like, okay, my mind starts running. Okay, I can start offering cooking classes or cooking demos.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. And I ended up selling all 6 of them. So I need to restock. But I started cooking because, I have a high tolerance. I've been consuming cannabis many years, and I have a very high tolerance for cannabis, and it does help with my back pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had a source. Okay, that's what it was. I had a source for trim.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, explain what trim is for people who don't know.
Okay, trim is like when the cannabis leaves are growing and they're getting it ready, for sale, and they have like the little leaves and things that are sticking out, or maybe some of the undergrowth. That's called trim, and you trim it off.
Mm-hmm.
So with the trim, it's not really a high quality product, but it still has, you don't want to waste anything of the plant.
Mm-hmm.
And you can heat it with an oil, which in my infuser, I throw it in with coconut oil or butter. And you decarb first, which decarb is a process.
So decarboxylate.
I use a glass baking dish, and I heat it at 225 for 25 to 30 minutes. You don't want to cook it too hot. You don't want to burn it. What you're doing is you're activating the THC.
So you're putting the trim, the leaves and stuff in the glass dish with the oil?
I'm putting it in my infuser.
Oh, okay.
The glass dish, I'm doing that dry. The decarb part, I'm doing that dry.
Okay, so the first thing you would do is you would put the leaves in the glass dish in the oven.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 225 for 25 minutes.
Okay.
And then I'll put my oil or my butter like in a glass measuring bowl, and I'll put it in the oven at the same time so that it melts, so that it's already melted. And then after the decarb process is done, I dump that with the oil into the infuser and put the lid on, and I push a button. And the infuser, it has blades that go around and it chops it up really, really fine. And it has a temperature probe, so it cooks it. They have a 45-minute batch, a 90-minute batch, or a 4-hour batch.
Mhm.
The 45-minute to 90-minute batch are pretty much the same. If I have time, I'll run it 90 minutes. I just think it's like steeping tea,
Yeah.
maybe you get like a little bit more out of it.
Mhm.
If I'm in a hurry, I'll do a 45-minute batch. And then the 4-hour batch, I've used that when I've made a tincture.
Oh.
Like when I've done an Everclear tincture,
Mhm.
and instead of oil or butter, you fill it, you put the Everclear in. And I have a really good recipe for for the tincture. When it's done, you drain it. So whether you're doing oil, butter, or Everclear, you run it through a strainer.
Mhm.
I have a fine mesh strainer that I just strain into a wide mouth glass jar. And what else was it? Oh, I was going to say something. Oh, some people may want to strain it a little finer if you really don't like the taste, because it can leave a green flavor.
Yeah.
You leave, because some of the plant material will still come through because it's really pulverized when it goes through this.
So like would you use like a cheesecloth or something?
Yeah,
or?
you can use it because it's like real sludgy. And so you use a cheesecloth if you want to do one extra batch to make it an extra push through to make it cleaner.
Yeah.
And then I've had a friend tell me that they've used that coconut oil and they've rubbed it on, they've given it to people that want to try it, and they've like rubbed it on sore areas of their body. It can be messy if you don't use good sheets.
Yeah.
But they've used that coconut oil sludge and that it's helped.
Yeah. Well, it's the plant's in there, and that's
exactly.
Yeah.
So you can, I usually keep my sludge for a little bit in case somebody wants it. And then the oil, the butter, I cook with those.
So tell me some of the things that you've cooked.
Well, for the butter, a lot of times, no matter what we're cooking for dinner, like if we have onions, we'll fry the onions in pot butter. And it just gives just a little bit, you don't a lot, just a little bit, like microdose.
Yeah, well, and there is a lot to say for microdosing too.
Yes.
There definitely is.
That's one way. Any recipe, whether it's a homemade recipe or whether it's a cake mix or a brownie mix recipe, when it calls for oil or butter, just substitute your infused oil or butter. And it's delicious. Chex Mix. Oh my gosh, Chex Mix to die for.
That's awesome.
Have you ever had my Chex Mix, Dawn?
No, I have not, but I have a feeling I will next time I'm over there.
I've got a funny story about my Chex Mix. I had a party. I had like an open house all day at my house, and I had like different vendors.
I remember that. I think I was right around when I was moving or something.
Yes, that's why I couldn't remember if you were there that night or not. But I had a Pampered Chef lady in, and she had never partaken in her life. She was into the theme because we were doing a get stoned party because I needed to get a new cooking stone because I had broken mine.
The horror.
Yeah, and so I had made infused Chex Mix, and I had told her it was infused, and it must have just went in one ear and out the other, because she had forgotten, and she had been eating it all night, and and it was like she had been there for a couple hours, and getting all of her stuff put away, and she was trying to tell me the total of my party, and she stopped and she looked at me and she said, "Did you say there was something in that Chex Mix?" And I said, "Yeah, why? Have you been eating it?" And she's like, "Yeah." She ended up calling me on her way home because she had pulled over and she wanted to let me know that she was safe, but she had called her neighbors to come pick her up because she was driving too slow.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Did you, I remember at one point you were going to make ice cream with it. Did you ever do that?
No, I don't remember that.
All right, we'll just have to do that this summer then. You were going to get an ice cream maker or something.
I don't
Hmm.
remember that.
All right, well, we'll think of something. But and then I know of someone who does.
Because I don't have an ice cream maker. I wonder if I knew somebody at the time that did. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe you did. And then I know someone who does cotton candy with it, with the
Ah.
crystals. And so that's
Oh,
interesting.
oh, I didn't finish my recipe with the tincture.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that was my fault too. So after you drain the tincture, the Everclear tincture,
Mm-hmm.
I just store it. I use a funnel and I put it into a dark wine bottle and
Mm-hmm.
it, and then I make green dragon sugar, or they call it green dragon. They call the tincture green dragon, and I make sugar out of it, green sugar.
Really?
Yes, you take 1 part of the tincture to 2 parts of the sugar. So I use my 13 by 9 baking pan, and I do 2 cups of sugar.
And just table sugar?
Yep, white sugar.
Uh-huh.
And 1 cup of the tincture.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's kind of slushy, you know, and you mix it together and you put it in the oven. You're going to bake it for an hour at I think it's like 225, 250 if you're, you know, test your oven, and because ovens all run different. And you're going to bake it for an hour, stirring it every 10 minutes. And so every 10 minutes when you take it out, the first couple times, it's going to be like taking a shot. That Everclear is the fumes are going to hit you in the face.
Oh, wow.
So be prepared. And so you stir it up. And then by the time you're up to the hour, the last stir, it's like a fine powdery green sugar.
Nice.
And all of the alcohol has evaporated, and it just leaves the cannabis attached to the sugar crystals.
Wow.
Yeah, and use it in your coffee, your oatmeal. So just another way to
Yeah. And truly, when you're sick and you're looking for ways to bring cannabis into your body, you know, to help you heal, it's things like this that can help add another layer in there. Not everyone likes to smoke.
Yeah, and it's like whatever strain you have access to, and it could be a CBD strain too.
Yep, for sure.
You could use CBD. So
yeah, it's kind of hard to find the flower for CBD, but it is out there, and it's getting more and more popular.
I used to have access to it periodically at my dispensary. I go to Choice Organics in Fort Collins. They used to carry it, but they haven't had it in a long time. They now and then they'll carry this what they call sugar trim, and that's what I'll buy. I used to get it free. I have to pay $50 an ounce for it now.
But at least you have access to it.
But at $50 an ounce, that infuses into like about 2.5 cups of butter, and figure, you know, you only use 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of butter per recipe. So they're not super strong, you know, you can make them stronger. I like to eat a brownie every now and then. So, you know,
well, and the thing is that people can grow their own too.
Yeah, they can grow their own
if they're in a legal state. So, or even if they're not in a legal state. But
I'm gonna turn my light on real quick.
Okay. So, how about, since you're up and we're seeing the house a little bit, how about you tell us about your what you do with your Airbnb.
Okay, well, I call it the Hippie Dew Drop In, and it's available on Airbnb. I only offer it if I'm home, because it is my house and I live in it. And
And you travel a lot.
I do travel a lot, so it is closed down a lot. But when I'm home, I like having people come, and I've met the best people, and it's with all the different ventures I do. Like, it's like, all right, I can teach you how to do something. What do you want to learn how to do? You want to make a t-shirt? Give me a design. I'll make you a t-shirt.
And so you do offer some you do offer like an add-on where you can teach them how to cook with
Yes.
cannabis.
Yes, I do.
And your home is cannabis friendly, so if they stay there, that they can partake there.
Yes, I do allow cannabis smoking inside the house, cigarette smoking outside.
Mm-hmm. As it should be.
Yes. Check-in time is 4:20, and I always have a loaded bowl ready. They can we tell them that they can. I do always have a loaded bowl ready when guests check in, and they can check in anytime after 3.
I like the 420 though. That's adorable.
Yeah, and it's not real busy during the winter, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But during the summer, I usually have 2 or 3 people, staying several days in a row throughout each month. So
yeah. Northern Colorado is a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, and I'm in Windsor, so I recommend people have a car when they come, and I have a cat, so if you're allergic to cats, it's not going to work because she's all over everything.
Yeah. But you have a very friendly cat.
Yeah. She's friendly, and I'll show you where the treats are. All you got to do is give her some treats, and
it's Lucy, right?
Yep, it's Lucy.
I thought that was her name. It's been a little while. So, and okay, so
and I am putting together, that if they want to go on dispensary tours.
Oh yeah.
I'll take them to, a couple of the dispensaries around here, if they want to set up a day in advance to do that.
You can learn a lot in a few days at the Hippie Dew Drop-In.
Yes. It's like, what do you want to talk about? I'm an open book. So
yeah, you can learn how to decarboxylate. You can go to some dispensaries. Just enjoy the legal status of the state of Colorado.
and I have a lot of cool friends that have written a lot of books. And I have, if you want an education in cannabis, I can give you an education in cannabis. So
yeah.
The room is upstairs though, so you do have to walk upstairs. So
yeah.
You have to be able to do stairs, but
you have to be able to do stairs. Yes.
Yeah, and cats. We have one cat. Well, sometimes I have my daughter's cat here too.
That's when things get interesting.
Yeah,
that's when you got both of them.
But yeah, if anybody's interested in that is definitely an option, and we'll have a link to that on my website. I hope to have the website making sense real soon. So.
Yeah, well, you've got a week.
But I'm gonna be in Vegas.
I know, but you aren't gonna be.
I know. Oh, and dang it! I need to find. I have lost my laptop case. I'm going to Vegas, and I have. How do you lose a laptop case?
I don't know.
I have my laptop. I don't know how I.
You just travel so much. I can't even.
Well, I'm thinking now. I had it in the shop. I had to send it to Dell because I broke the screen.
Oh no.
I know. I wonder. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look in the basement.
Yeah. All right. So, what are the newest things that you're doing with cannabis? Like, just personally, is there anything new that you can tell people about?
Yes, I've been a travel agent for almost a year now. I mainly joined for personal reasons, for my own personal travel. I was
Mhm.
already my own travel, so I saw this as a way that I could save on my own, as well as I've been co-organizer of a group conference cruise for e-commerce sellers since
Mhm.
2015. And so I want to put group cruises together that I get to go on.
Yeah, and so
So
you're
yeah,
thinking
like once a
cannabis
month,
related.
I want to go somewhere once a month, and I'm going to be in Jamaica in July doing
Mhm.
some research. Uh, and I've got friends that live there, friends of friends that live there,
Mhm.
friends of friends that I've heard have a hemp field. And, I'd like to see about, putting some conferences together, either on cruises or at an all inclusive, and
Mhm.
doing tours, doing cannabis education classes to
Yeah.
the hemp field, and
Mhm.
then spending a day on the beach and, in Jamaica.
That's great.
So, yeah.
I love the whole idea of the just the cannabis travel thing to where people
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
take a vacation, experience it, learn something, meet people,
Right.
attend a seminar, things like that
Right.
on
Meet like-minded people. And
yeah.
if you're family, meet like-minded people with kids. And people all over this country are living differently when they have kids, depending on if they're in a legal state or not. Well, even
Mhm.
in a legal state, there is still issues.
Yeah.
Cannabis, if you have kids, if cannabis is your medicine.
Yeah.
And there's a whole group of families out there. And today there was they were down at the Capitol today. I didn't make it down there because of the weather, but there was the autism bill. It passed. Whatever, I think it was at the Senate, I believe. Whatever committee
Mhm.
it was in, it passed 5-0.
Oh,
So
good. Oh, thank goodness.
yeah, and this is the bill. This is the bill, or a similar bill, that our governor Hickenlooper vetoed last year. It passed last year, and he vetoed it. So this year we have a cannabis-friendly
Oh,
governor.
yeah. Jared Polis is
Yeah,
amazing.
Governor Polis, he's already on board to approve this. So it's just a matter of formality. But
Mhm.
I got to meet. I was down there a couple of months ago lobbying with Denver Normal.
Mhm.
I got to meet many of the families that have autistic children that were down there testifying. And
Yeah,
I said,
it's
how you get these rules
amazing.
changed. Yeah, that's how you get these rules changed. You got to go down and you got to tell your story.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, you've got to basically expose yourself to, just wear your
Yeah.
heart on your sleeve and
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
expose it all and say, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
here's my life.
And that's what we're finding out. That's what social media is for. You've got a tribe out there. You've got a tribe of people out there that are there to support you, and
Hmm.
they're going to make sure you don't fall flat on your face.
But it really, truly is amazing what CBD and cannabis can do to help autistic children. It's
Yep.
I've seen it where second dose, child starts talking, a nonverbal child starts talking. It's like how could you
Wow.
hold that
Yeah.
apart from somebody saying no, you can't do
Yeah.
this. I,
I've got cousins. I've got cousins. Her daughters, two children are both autistic,
mm,
and they live in Kansas. And like I haven't even really talked to them about it at all, just because I know other members of the family. I know they're feeling on.
yeah, and they're not going to make it easy on them.
Yeah, and so I just is like, you gotta know when to pick your battles. So
Yeah,
you just
it's
gotta keep putting the education out there, and get these stupid drug tests changed.
yeah.
Let them be ability tests, and there's
Yeah, I mean, we don't want stoned people working presses, in a manufacturing company, but if you smoked the day before,
Yeah,
if you smoked on Saturday and you're working on Monday,
you shouldn't get fired on Tuesday for what you did Saturday.
Yeah, that is absurd. That is
Yeah.
absolutely absurd. And
CBD, oh my God.
yeah, that should never even be. Oh my gosh, yeah, that we've got to get some, and the science is coming. The science is getting there. It's getting closer and closer and closer to where they'll be able to,
Yeah.
really determine what, like, hopefully they'll be able to somehow know that oh God, it's been 48 hours, since it's gotten into your body. There's got to be some trace of something. There's got to be some marker that.
Yeah. Because it could stay in your body up to 30 days.
Yeah, I know. And especially for chunky people like me.
I know. I would never, ever in a million years be able to pass it.
And the thing is that I'm not a THC.
That's why I create my own jobs. So
well, and I'm not a THC person, but I am a CBD person, and I'm a industrial hemp 0.3% CBD person. And for those of us who have a little bit extra fat on us, it accumulates.
Yeah, and even like a 1 to 10 ratio. That's the law, in states. But that little bit of THC, it's THC is the good guy, and it's been made out to be the bad guy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
A little bit of it is good, and it just makes the whole plant medicine work. Exactly.
And like, even with the microdosing and stuff like that, this is not enough to make somebody high. And especially if it's industrial hemp, if it's CBD less than 0.3% THC, and you're popping hot on a THC drug test.
Ridiculous.
That's absurd. But there's a, but
what's happening.
We're moving in the right direction. And a lot of that has to do with NORML.
Yes.
Because they're the ones that are out there lobbying, fighting the fight, and has been doing it for decades.
And there's, I think it's ASA. I'm not sure what it stands for off the top of my head, but we can look it up and put the link in. One of my friends, Melanie Rose Rogers, she's a big activist down in Denver. A lot of Facebook Lives from the courthouse and keeps people up to date with what's going on. Her organization that she's part of, Americans for Safe Access. That's what it's
called. Oh, okay.
They are heading to DC next week. They have a group of people that are heading down there to lobby.
Good.
And there must be some cannabis legislation that's coming up next week. So.
Awesome. I know that Cory Booker has put some stuff out. I know that I think Bernie Sanders has put some stuff out. There's several different things that are going on.
Yeah, I'm so excited for them, and I want to watch them on Facebook next week.
Didn't you go to DC last year?
I have not. NORML did, but I have not been.
Oh, I thought Wendy had asked you to go or something like that.
They had talked about that, and I don't know if they even went.
Something happened, and
and in those instances, it's like, I've got to get myself there. Like, they'll put me up, but I've got to get myself there. And I didn't have a budget then.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I couldn't afford the airfare even if they were there. I can't even remember.
Yeah. Well, you've got, and like you said, you've got to choose there's so much. Yeah. There's so much that can be done, and there's only so many hours in a day.
I know. I was able to go to Taos, though. Season 3, we did a whole week of filming in Taos, and
nice.
Chris was able to go and help, and it was awesome. We stayed. We had a big Airbnb. It was a family vacation home. It was 2 separate homes too, like a garage house and a main house and a big hot tub. The whole crew and camera crew stayed in these 2 houses, and it was so much fun. We worked like 18-hour days, and then 11 o'clock at night, we're all in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Some of them went to bed. So the camera guys were working though. They were so busy. They were up till like 2, 3 in the morning
Ugh.
working on film and edits. And then they'd have to be up at 8, 9 o'clock the next morning back to work. It was crazy, but it's fun. What a fun job,
Exactly. All right. So we're gonna wrap it up because I knew this was gonna go long, but I want you to tell people, like give them some ideas or processes on how to incorporate CBD or cannabis or hemp or whatever into business life.
Well, just use it.
Yeah.
Just use it and you'll get creative, like whatever you're doing,
So like, for example, as a travel agent, you can create 420 experiences or conferences. As an e-commerce person,
you can learn how to make t-shirts with pot leaves on them and they will now approve them.
and as someone who likes to cook,
you can learn how to cook with cannabis. There you go.
You could do recipe booklets.
Yes. Oh, and I just learned how to, I am now self-published.
Yay.
Yeah. See, this is my book. It's called Vision Board Amplify. It's based on my vision board from last year, and it's a journal. So I'm an author of a book of blank pages.
That's great.
But then I go from my prompts from my vision board, and then I journal off of that. And I started a Facebook group about it and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, so you could do. I
could teach you how to start a Facebook group. Whatever you want to do, like, come and hang. We'll smoke some pot and we'll figure out ways to be creative with your business.
Okay, guys. So if by chance you're in Colorado, especially northern Colorado, and you are looking for an Airbnb that is 420 friendly, Hippie Do drop in.
An hour north of Denver.
Mm-hmm. And just up by 25, and you can decarboxylate with Vicki. You can make brownies with Vicki. Make lasagna with Vicki. Make sautéed onions.
Yep.
There's
sugar, whatever you want to do. I'm happy.
But truly, if you are someone who's trying to get either whole plant cannabis or CBD into your body in other ways, this is an easy way to do it. Cooking with it is an easy way to do it, and by straining it through the cheesecloth, you get a lot more of that green taste out of it, and you can use it in salad dressings. You can use it in anything that you need to. If you're not someone who is wanting to use like capsules or things like that, if you want to do it yourself, this is really an easy way for you to do it.
And I wanted to say, don't throw the green stuff away. You can use it for all sorts of other things.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. So Hippie Do drop in. The website is hippiedew.com, hippiedew.com. Vicki will have it updated by the 21st of March. So there you go. That's not a goal. That's a deadline. There's a difference between a goal and a deadline.
Okay. Got it. Yes, there is a difference. I agree.
And so I'm thrilled to have Vicki on because she is an example of being able to really incorporate cannabis into your life as a business. Really, honest to goodness, there are no limits. That is what's so great about this industry is there's just seriously, you could do anything.
That's why you put me on the spot with that question. It's like, what do you want to do?
Exactly. I mean, there's just too many things. Yeah. But be like Vicki and open your mind up and just let it flow because you'd be surprised what you can do.
And
So.
thank you, Dawn. I love what you do for the industry too. You definitely play your part.
Thanks, Vicki. All right, guys, until next episode, Vicki, safe travels to Vegas.
Thank you.
And everybody, remember, stay happy, stay healthy. Bye.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.